Whoa! They're denting it, they're kicking it. Doors open, they're getting chased out. Wow! I've never seen anything like it. They are getting chased out. Oh, he jumped onto the front window. Whoa! Oh, yes, Christ! This is going absolutely insane.
1 minute ago, 41,923 predators are roaming free, and parents are in panic. Across Britain, families are fearing for their children like never before. Streets, parks, and even schools are no longer safe, as authorities admit the scale of the threat is staggering. Red alerts are spreading, communities are on high alert, and citizens are demanding immediate action. Britain is on edge, and the clock is ticking. Who will stop this growing crisis before it's too late? Communities that once felt safe are now gripped by fear, as streets, parks, and even school grounds become potential danger zones. Authorities admit the scale of the problem is unprecedented, warning that tracking every single threat is nearly impossible. Social media is exploding with concerned parents sharing their fears, creating a wave of public outrage that's impossible to ignore. The question on everyone's lips is simple yet terrifying. How did it get this bad? And what is being done to protect our children? Every neighbourhood is feeling the pressure. Families are locking doors earlier, avoiding certain areas, and questioning whether it's even safe for their children to play outside. The sheer number, 41,923, isn't just a number. It represents countless lives at risk and communities on high alert. Schools are reviewing their security protocols, local councils are scrambling to respond, and parents are forming informal watch groups to monitor their streets. Meanwhile, critics are asking why the government and law enforcement didn't act sooner, pointing fingers at systemic failures and lack of proper oversight. Experts warn that this situation is not just alarming, it's escalating. With such a large number of predators on the loose, the risk of repeat offences rises dramatically. The public is demanding immediate action, stronger monitoring, faster intervention, and harsher penalties for offenders. But while debates rage in Parliament and headlines scream for attention, ordinary citizens are left facing the very real threat of danger in their daily lives. Parents, teachers, and local communities are uniting in fear and frustration, realising that the clock is ticking and every day counts. In towns and cities across the UK, the tension is palpable. Conversations in cafes, community centres, and online forums revolve around safety precautions and emergency measures. Some parents are even moving their children to areas perceived as safer, while others are taking it upon themselves to educate their kids about the dangers lurking just outside their doors. The emotional toll is immense. Anxiety, stress, and outrage are mounting as families try to come to terms with a reality many hoped they would never face. The government has promised action, but for many, words are no longer enough. Parents are questioning how such a staggering number of predators could be left unchecked for so long. Each day without decisive action increases public anger and fear, fueling protests, petitions, and calls for immediate reform. The situation has become a ticking time bomb, and Britain's streets, once places of comfort and community, now feel like arenas of uncertainty. This isn't just a story of numbers, it's a story of a nation on edge, fighting to protect its most vulnerable. As this crisis unfolds, one thing is clear: urgency is critical. Britain cannot afford complacency. Families, authorities, and lawmakers must confront this reality head-on, or risk allowing a catastrophe that could have been prevented. The nation watches, waits, and fears. But time is running out, and the next move could change everything. The reality on the ground is even more shocking than the numbers suggest. Communities are reporting incidents that leave parents and residents questioning their safety at every turn. Streets that were once lively with children playing and neighbours chatting are now eerily quiet, as fear grips families across the UK. Social media platforms are flooded with first-hand accounts, parents sharing chilling stories of suspicious behaviour, near misses, and encounters that no one thought would happen in their neighbourhoods. This isn't just about statistics anymore. It's about real lives being disrupted, fear infiltrating daily routines, and the constant question, is my child safe right now? Local authorities are under immense pressure. Police departments are scrambling to respond to reports, but with tens of thousands of predators on the loose, resources are stretched thin. Many law enforcement officials admit that while they are doing everything they can, the scale of the problem makes it nearly impossible to provide immediate protection to every community. Critics argue that prevention has always been overlooked, leaving reactive measures to pick up the pieces. Families feel abandoned, and frustration is mounting as citizens demand accountability. The psychological impact cannot be overstated. Parents report sleepless nights, hypervigilance, and rising anxiety as they try to keep their children safe. Everyday activities, walking to school, visiting the park, or even taking a short stroll, have become sources of stress. Children, too, are feeling the effects, sensing tension at home and in their communities. Experts warn that prolonged exposure to fear and insecurity can have lasting effects on mental health, particularly for young minds trying to understand a world suddenly filled with danger. Meanwhile, advocacy groups and concerned citizens are taking matters into their own hands. Neighbourhood watch programmes are expanding, parents are organising safety workshops, and online campaigns are demanding stricter monitoring and immediate government action. The public is growing impatient, realising that bureaucracy and slow response times could have devastating consequences. Every headline about another predator on the streets adds fuel to the fire, further intensifying the sense of urgency. Parliament is facing mounting pressure to act decisively. Lawmakers are being challenged to implement stronger regulations, enforce stricter sentencing, and provide better funding for protective services. The debate is no longer theoretical, it's personal, emotional, and raw. Families are holding politicians accountable, demanding solutions that go beyond promises and reach into real, tangible safety measures. The nation watches closely, aware that the coming days could define the safety and stability of communities for years to come. The scale of this crisis is staggering, but so is the determination of those affected. Communities refuse to stay silent, parents refuse to be ignored, and citizens are demanding that urgent measures be taken immediately. Every report, every alert, and every story shared adds to a growing movement for action, shining a spotlight on a threat that cannot be ignored. Britain's streets are under pressure like never before, and the next steps taken by authorities, lawmakers, and citizens alike will determine whether safety can be restored, or if fear will continue to dominate daily life. The crisis is now reaching a tipping point. Across the UK, parents are no longer waiting for authorities to act. They are taking matters into their own hands. Community groups are forming rapid response teams, schools are revising security plans, and neighbourhood patrols are becoming a common sight. Every day without decisive government intervention only amplifies the fear. Citizens are asking the hard questions. Why were these predators allowed to roam freely? How many more incidents must occur before meaningful action is taken? The anger and frustration are palpable, and social media is a wildfire of outrage, with videos, posts and live streams documenting the escalating danger. Experts warn that the numbers are only the beginning. Behind the 41,923 predators is a network of individuals who exploit gaps in the system, evade monitoring, and threaten the safety of vulnerable communities. The scale of the problem has sparked urgent discussions about reforming monitoring systems, implementing stronger laws, and increasing penalties for offenders. Yet, with bureaucratic delays and conflicting priorities, many parents feel their children are left exposed. Fear has now become a constant companion in daily life, a shadow that follows families from home to school to public spaces, leaving no room for complacency. The media has amplified the crisis, with headlines declaring red alert and parents in panic, pushing the issue into national consciousness. Public pressure is mounting, and every politician, lawmaker, and enforcement agency is being scrutinised. Citizens are demanding accountability, not promises. Tangible steps to protect children and restore community safety. The tension is not abstract. It is real, immediate, and frightening. Parents share stories of near misses, strange encounters, and alarming behaviours that suggest the problem is far from contained. This surge of fear has also exposed systemic weaknesses. Many experts argue that lack of funding, insufficient monitoring, and outdated policies have allowed the situation to spiral out of control. Some communities have resorted to private security measures, neighbourhood apps, and online alert systems to try to compensate. Yet these measures are temporary bandages on a far deeper issue. Families are desperate, and the pressure on authorities grows by the hour. The question remains, can Britain respond fast enough before the consequences escalate further? As Section 3 unfolds, one thing is clear: the clock is ticking, and the stakes could not be higher. Citizens are mobilising, parents are demanding answers, and communities are bracing for what may come next. The threat is no longer theoretical. It is immediate, pervasive, and inescapable. The coming days will test the ability of authorities and citizens alike to confront this crisis head-on. Every choice, every action, and every delay could tip the balance between restored safety and continued chaos. Britain is watching, and the nation's next moves will determine the future of its communities. The threat is growing by the minute, Thousands of predators roam unchecked while parents scramble to protect their children. Communities are on high alert, schools are tightening security, and social media is ablaze with warnings. Citizens are demanding immediate action, and the pressure on authorities has never been higher. Britain is at a crossroads. Act now or face the consequences. Every second counts, and the nation is watching.